Anthropic just dropped Claude Opus 4.8, and the most important number isn't that it's smarter, it's that when it writes code, it's 4 times less likely to let its own mistakes slip past without flagging them. Because this is the part almost everyone misses. The biggest problem with AI was never that it's dumb, it's that it confidently claims it's done when the evidence is thin. You ask for an analysis, you get a paragraph that sounds perfect, and only hours later you realize half of it was made up. And that's the expensive part, not the mistakes themselves, but the mistakes the model sold you as success with full confidence. If you've been working with Claude Code or Codex, this is something that drives you completely crazy. I know it did for me. And that's exactly what Opus 4.8 goes after, apparently. It was just released. And here's the interesting part. Anthropic didn't frame this as a marketing line. They framed it as a measurement. By their own tests on code it writes, Opus 4.8 lets flaws slip through unremarked about 4 times less often than the previous version. And in plain terms, it's more likely to say I'm not sure here than the barrel ahead and bluff. And let's be real here, Opus 4.7 was a nightmare compared to 4.6. And apparently this got 4 times better. And this isn't the marketing team talking here. Their own internal alignment team says Opus 4.8 hits new highs on acting in the user's best interest with misaligned behavior far lower than the last version. The people whose job is to break the model are the ones vouching for it. And yes, the raw benchmarks are up too. Agentic coding goes from 64.3 to 69.2%, reasoning with tools from 54.7 to 57.9, and an online mind to web, that's the model clicking through a real browser on its own, it hits 84%, above both the old version and GPT 5.5. But here's where it gets relevant for you. Those numbers are nice if you build software. If you do content, analysis or research without this thing, the honesty is the actual win. A model that tells you this source doesn't back your claim is worth more than one that hands you a pretty lie 10% faster. They also added effort controls this version so you're not burning tokens on maximum thinking when the task doesn't need it. Turn it down for a quick rewrite, up for the work that matters. It's the same honesty principle applied to what you spend. Here's the part that surprised me. None of this costs more. $5 per million input tokens, 25 for output, identical to the last version if you're going with the API. If you're going with the subscription route, nothing changes for you anyways. There's even a fast mode that runs at 2.5 times the speed and is now 3 times cheaper than before. More model, same bill basically. Here's the part that Anthropic buried near the bottom of the post. They call it 4.8, their own flagship launch, a modest but tangible step. Modest. Why would they undersell their own release? That's because of what's sitting right behind it. There's a new model called Mythos, more intelligent than Opus, that right now only a small number of organizations can use for cybersecurity work. Anthropic says word for word, it expects to bring Mythos to all customers in the coming weeks once stronger safeguards are in place. I actually made a whole video on Project Glasswing and Mythos. If you want the full background on that, it's linked up here and also down in the description. So 4.8 isn't the headline, it's the warm-up act that we're finally getting Mythos. Here's my take. Don't let the benchmark table blend you. The real upgrade in Opus 4.8 is that it bluffs less, and I'm so thankful for that. If that is the case, I will definitely put that to a test. For anyone working seriously with AI, an honest model beats a confidently wrong one every single time, and that's the whole story. If you want this running inside your actual workflow, not just in a demo, that's consulting work I do with businesses. The link is below. And actually in the next couple of days, I'm gonna post a couple of videos with projects I've been doing with Claude Code. A very fun one, to be honest, is among them, and some practical ones. So if you haven't followed yet, make sure to do this. Thank you so much for watching and see you again in the next video.